This house was built in 1873. It was built 5 years after the burning down of the Central Ohio Lunatic Asylum. So Thurber House sits at the northwest corner of a 30-acre plot of land, and in the 1800s, people did their best to take care of the mentally ill. But the place burned to the ground. 7 women lost their lives in that fire. Tragedy. And so 5 years later, this house was built. Well, 10 years before James Thurber lived here, there was a guy named Thomas Tress.
April 28th, 1904, Thomas Tracy Tress comes home from work and he finds his wife entertaining her friend Miss Tina Ackerman, and they explain that dinner is about to be served. So he goes upstairs to the master bedroom to take off his work collar and put on his eating collar, which is what apparently people did in those days. And it was there where the gun was, and all of a sudden all 3 of them are in that master bedroom. So that seems a little suspect to me. And he starts waving the gun around, and that's when Mrs. Tress says that her name was Birdie. Put that thing away, you do some mischief, and he shot himself. And then Mrs. Tress and Miss Ackerman carried him down and into the parlor here, where he laid on a couch and bled out and died 45 minutes later.
James Thurber lived in this house from 1913 to 1917 while he was a college student at Ohio State. So he would have been in his late teens, early 20s. He lived here with his entire family, his parents, his brothers, both his younger brother Robert and his older brother William, and all of their dogs. So this was one of many homes that the Thurber family lived in while James Thurber was growing up. But sort of its claim to fame, and one of the reasons why it's now Thurber House, is because this is where he was living when he wrote many of the stories in his book, My Life in Hard Times. And some of the stories in that book took place in this house, like the night the ghost got in and the night the bed fell.
The night the ghost got in. November 17th, 1915, 1:15 in the morning. James Thurber is upstairs in the bath. His brother is in his bedroom, and all of a sudden, they hear footsteps around the dining room table.
And he kind of peered down, looked, and tried to see if there was anyone down there because, his first thought was, oh, there's a burglar. He didn't see anyone, so he went and grabbed his brother, and they're both standing there at the top of the stairs and kind of looking down and waiting for something to happen, perhaps. And all of a sudden, the footsteps started running up the back stairs toward them, according to Thurber's story, and there was no one with the footsteps. So they both kind of ran into separate rooms, slammed the doors. This woke their mother up, who...
Mom goes to a window, throws a shoe through the neighbor's adjacent window to alert them that burglars had got in. The police come. They break the front door down. They search the place. And they go up into the attic where Grandpa is sleeping. Grandpa sees these blue-coated policemen come in. Grandpa thinks that they are deserters from the Union Army of the Civil War. And so he grabs the revolver from one of these policemen, wings him in the shoulder, and James, in the confusion, can't find the gun. He says, I'll just bring it down to the station tomorrow morning.
But Thurber, throughout his life, he did write and speak about that incident a few times, and he believed until his dying day that what he experienced was unexplained. He would even change the address in his later, conversations about it so that he wouldn't scare anyone who was living in the house at the time. So whatever he experienced that night, he did truly believe was paranormal in essence. One of the things that we're currently doing, we have a partnership going with a local group that conducts ghost investigations and public ghost investigations, I should say. So you can sign up to join. There's a fee, and it's a small group of people who come in and they get private time. Usually it's about 2 hours they'll get a tour, and then they get to walk around with their ghost hunting equipment for about an hour and a half. So we do have those partnerships going, as well as we directly offer private ghost investigations. So any group who's interested can just reach out to us, and we can set up a time for them to come in and just their group have an overnight ghost investigation here. Thurber House is many things. We're very multifaceted. So not only are we a historic museum located in the former home of James Thurber, the author and cartoonist, but we also offer anything from author events with nationally known best-selling authors and local authors to writing workshops for adults and children, writing groups for teens and adults. We do every year the annual Thurber Prize for American Humor, which is one of the highest recognitions of humor writing and cartooning in the United States. So we are many, many different things, and I like to think that we have something for everyone. So whether you're interested in history and want to come to the museum, or simply a lot of people come here because they hear that we have a reputation for being haunted. So if you're into that, whatever you're into, feel free to come and visit our museum. Otherwise, if you're a writer or a reader or just generally love the arts, we have programs kind of along those lines for everyone.
Thurber House is a lot more than just a museum, a lot more than just a place to give tours, but it's a very active, lively literary hub. And we put on activities all year round.